Okay, so let's start with the actual programming part from today onwards. Okay, so we have a course content here. So we have a course content here. The course content is what and all we are going to be discussed here in the React. So React hooks is there, Redux is there. Only in the React we are going to be learn this all those things. Okay, so this is all the React hooks is there. So we are going deep here. For the basic React, we are going to be learn this one. If you know this one means you can do React.js projects along with the what we can say uh, basic React.js. Okay, first introduction. So introduction we already seen like that. Okay, why React, and it is a component based architecture. It is a JavaScript framework and all. The Hello World folder, Hello World we have discussed yesterday. So for that I want to go here, React stream. Okay, in the training branches, in the August, React.js, simple. So this is the project we have created. Instead of Hello World, I have created simple. That's it. So COD. Okay. So first, okay, we know this one. What? Okay, first we got to know how to create a Hello World program. So I created a simple program. So, and a folder structure. What is a folder structure? The folder structure I will tell one more time. Once you create a React.js application, okay. So before that, how to create a React application? So to create a React applications, you need a npx create the React app, that file name. The file name should be anything, and it should not be something called a number or some special character. So it should be a normal character. Okay. So once you create it, then the cd that my folder, and you have to go to the specific path. Okay. So for that, I want to show here. If you want to create a React app means, if you just it is going for the this URL, just go there. So the steps are there here. Okay. So first is npx React app. See, npx React app means once it is going to be create all the files. Once it is created, then cd that my app. What is the my app? cd my app. So then we are changing a directory. Then npm start. Once it is started, then it is going to be run automatically. Okay. So this is how it will works. So now uh, we are going with the so we got to know how to create. Then what is a folder structure? The folder structure is there are a source folder is there, public is there, node module is there, package.json is there. Okay, so this is as of now important. So this is also there where to use and all, but minimum thing you should know. So package.json and a source and public folder and node modules. Okay, so what is a package.json containing? So package.json is a it contains the all the libraries entry points. So these are all the what is a which version of React it is installed, and something I want to upload a file. So React uploader, which version of a package. So package means what? So they have built a one code so that we are using that package. What is the packages? Login with the Facebook, login with the Gmail. So you might think like, see, let's say I want to go here. I want to call the GitHub. Okay. So so I want to sign in. So sign in means what? It is going to be ask a sign in with the other. So or else if you go here GitLab, sign in, sorry, GitLab. Okay, so I want to access this application. So here what happens? So already I have signed in, so that is why it is I will sign out first. So now it is going to be ask verifying your browser details and all. Once you going to be sign in, there is a possibility like that login with the your user ID and password or email. So there is other options. log in with the Google, log in with the GitHub, Bitbucket, Salesforce, what it is. So if you already registered with the Google, okay, so your all information is there with the Google, like your email ID and password and your personal information, like that, to your name, everything. So instead of login everything, so I will just clicking a login with the Google. So here what happens? So it is going to be directly logged into my account. Okay. So what is happening here? I'm not logging into the username and password here. So directly I'm going here for GitLab, and if I don't know this, sorry, GitLab. I don't see. I forgot a password, or because I don't want to enter a password every time. So in that scenario, so what I have to do? I have to go with the login with the Gmail. So who is giving that functionality? The someone is developed and given a functionality. So same thing. That functionality is called a package. So that packages we are installed in here. So then, what is the source? The source is the main entry point of source is the index.js. Once your application is loaded from once you start npm start, it will come here npm start. From the npm start to the where in the index.js. From the index.js, it is fetching the app.js. So this is the app.js. All your component is written here. Okay. So now we are going to be, what is this? This is a functional component. How this is the function app is there. Okay. So let go with the examples. So then what is a public.html? So public.html, it is containing a div root. So what is the div root? Your browser will not understand the JavaScript code. I mean to say, loading the data, displaying the data, and everything. It is done by the HTML only. So that's why here div root is there. Where is the root? Here they have created a root. React DOM create DOM document dot get element by ID root. So that's why whatever the things I have declared in the app, so that is available to the index, from the index to the index.html. So that's why it is going to be printed in the browser. So for that, I want to close everything. I will create a new terminal. Then npm start. So here what I have done, so I made a one component folder. Why? Because all the programs I want to write inside a component, so that component I am fetching in the app.js. How I am fetching? See, the app.js is there, the component is there. Let run first. Okay, let it. So you are not getting my audio. Okay, fine. So it is going to be okay. Let it is going to be created. This localhost 3000 the port. And so here what happens, why I make a component folder, in the sense I am writing a n number of a component. I made a one folder. Inside that folder I am keeping in the app.js. What I am fetching that app. How I am fetching? See, once it is compiled successfully, then we are going to be run here. Okay, so just I want to go as welcome to React.js. Okay, so fine. So what I am doing here, so the app.js, what it contains? It contains the component. What is the component? The component I am going coming from here. So here exact the hello component I have defined. This is a functional component. So that component, it is available here. How available here? I just imported from the this path, and this is the component. If you want to create a something other name also, that's it will take something called a Okay, so here what happens? My is there. So just I want to add in the save it. See here, the now it is going to be successful. If you do any mistake here, save it. See, it is throwing an error. Error in result app.js 6. My one is not defined. So 6 my one. Why? Because I imported as a my, but I want defined as a my one. So save it, run it. Will go here, and it is printing a here. Okay, so this is the welcome to uh, Hello World program. Okay, so next what we are going to do. So we got to know what is the folder structure. Then we are talking about the components. So components yesterday I had discussed. Again, I want to little bit brief about this one. So what is a component? The component is they are going to be split the every small piece of component to the uh, component. So how? So just I want to take an example. So yesterday I told. So this is the top bar is there, and this is the body is there, and this is the form one is there. This is the form one is there. So what they will do? So they are making the top bar as a one functional component, and this is a form one component, form two component, body component. So if they have split it. Okay, why they are splitted? So the law form should be used in the thousand places. So once you have defined that form, so that is reusable. And a header. So header component will be used for n times. So you need a reusable component. Okay, so now today we are going to be discuss about more training technical things about. The first is the functional component. So and a class component. So there are two types of components in the React.js. There is a functional component and a class component. Okay, what is a functional component and class component? So up to React 16.7, the class component was a popular. Okay, after the 16.7, so they have released a that is a functional component. So we are going with a one example. So that is a, in the app. So first is a my component.js. So I want to create a one component. Okay. So what is the component? My component.js. Okay. So here in the folder my functional comp.jsx. So I want to create a so how to create a file? Import React from React. Okay. So I have imported this one. So then the constant what is the my my functional comp, okay, equals to open close brace equals to, okay, so this is I have created a one functional component. Okay, so you can define so many things, so many ways you can define it. It's not an issue. So and I am calling a one more thing called a return. Okay, so inside a return, I want to pass a two things. What is a so I am taking a h1 and a paragraph. I want to take a one div here, enter. So now I want to take a the h1 tag, then open close brace, props dot name, and props dot sorry. I'm taking a one paragraph. So open close brace, props dot message. What is the props? So you heard about this is the div tag and h1 tag paragraph. So if I use the flower bracket means it is an expression. So it is be treated as. So what is the props? So props I am going to be add here. So props I have added. Who is sending these props? The app.js. I want to create a one more component. So I don't want to load now here. I want to call the component. What is the component? Okay, my functional functional comp. So this is the component I have added, but I have not imported. So this is a my functional component is there. So I will just copy this one, import, control V from where it is there. So I am going to be one folder before. One folder means dot forward slash. See, components will come forward slash. So my functional component. Okay. So now it is telling that. So in the app.js, export default imported as a my component was not module has no export. So always you have to export that component. So how to export? So export default. What is the function name? My functional component. Okay. So this is how it is going to be. So it is telling the warning. If you have a warning, no issues. If you want to remove warning means what to do. So you have to go here. So just comment it. How to comment? Control, select all, control forward slash. So then save it. See now there is a no warning. So what is happening here? So if I go through here, if I see my outputs, nothing is displaying here. So first, what is that one? Once I start that means it is the app.js is going to be load and it is the fetching the my component. Okay. So before that, what I will do, I will not passing anything here. So just welcome to functional component. Save it, run it. So this is the output edition where it is the my component, my functional component. So from here, where it is printing, actually app.js is loaded, but it is once it is loaded, it is going for the my component. From the my component, it is going to be printed. So here, one thing I will do, I want to pass the props. So name equals to React.js developer and message equals to this is a good library for a learning a JavaScript programming. Okay, so I created a my functional component. So I am sending a data as a prop. So there are two things will come, props and state. The props means we are going to be sent the data in the form of a props. So name React.js developer message. This is a good library for learning the JavaScript programming. So where I am passing here, so I am passing inside a functional component. What is that? My function comp. So how I am passing? So here first I want to props here. Props. Okay. So just remove about this one. So this is the props. So if you want to see what it is there, so just go to the clc console.log and props. Okay. Save it, run it. You go here, Control Shift I. Then if you go for the console, see here the object is there, the message and the name. So how it is printing here? So this is the app.js. In the app.js, we are calling the my component. So we are passing the properties, passing the props, name and messages. So how it is there? How it is coming inside a functional component? We are taking your props. So then how to destructure that one. So I want to take a h1 open close brace. So that is a props dot name, and I want to take up one paragraph and open close brace. So props dot message. Save it, run it, see here. Once I run here, the React.js developer, which is a and this is a good library for learning a JavaScript programming. Okay, who is giving? So this is the app.js is a one thing. Inside that one, I am calling as a component that is a my component. For this component, I am passing a props, a name, and the messages. So what is the value? You can pass anything inside a double quote, it will take. If you pass any number or something or special character, so anything inside a double quote, it is treated as a string. Okay, so we are passing the so what we got to know since we are going to be pass the data as a props. Okay, so from the app.js and we are passing the props in the my component sorry my functional component with the name and messages. Okay, so this is a one thing my functional component. So props dot name props dot message it is going to be printed. Okay, so this is called a passing the data as a props. Okay, so first what we got to know what is a functional component. So functional component in the sense, so that is a constant my function. So this is the open close brace and a open flower bracket. So this is a functional component. So next what we are going to do here, we are going to discuss about the class component. Okay, my class component. What is a class component? See, earlier React 16.7, they are using a class component only. Okay, after 16.7, they used a functional component. Okay, why they are used and all, we are going to be discussed in the React hooks. Okay, so when we start a React hooks. Okay, first what is this one? The first I need to import a React and component. Okay, so now what I have to do? I want to create a one more file. So that is a my class component dot jsx. See, we are not using a class component, but for the knowledge purpose, I am telling. We are dealing with the only functional component only. But for understanding, if suppose 4 year back, 5 year back React.js project is there, if they are using the class component means, so then it is difficult for you to okay, sir, I don't know class component means it is not acceptable. So that's why I am telling the uh, class component also. So before that, import React from React, and I want to call a component also. Okay. So first we have imported this component. So this is the component we are going to be added here. So now the class my class component extends the component open close brace. Okay, what is this R constant? So instead of writing the whole thing, so I am using a shortened property. So what is this one? The constructor props super props this dot state dot count equals to 0. Okay. So instead of writing all those things, so just one shortened RCONST constant right is good. So it is always as I told in the JavaScript, when you create a classes in JavaScript, you are going to be called the constructor. We already discussed that. Same thing here. When we define a class component, we are calling a constructor and we are calling a one props, super props. Okay. So this is the standard every class component you are going to be this one. So this dot state. So this dot state means we are initializing the variable. It is indirectly, it is like a variable. So how? So before that, what we are going to do? So this dot state dot count equals to 0. So the count not equals to count colon 0. Okay, so this is, we know this one. Then after that we are calling a return open close brace, and we are calling a due. Okay, so here what happens, uh, before that we are calling a return, and we are calling one more thing render. So that's why it is throwing an error. So in the render we are not using a why we need a render, we are going to be discussed in the React lifecycle method. So just you understand what is a, so we know about a return means it is going to be return the value. So whatever the thing. So I'm calling the due. So just use a div open close brace, and I want to display the value. What is the initial value? So this dot state dot count. So if you want to add addition, the initial value of a variable is saved. We'll go here. We'll see here. We are not finding anything. Why? Because so now I am importing this is a functional component. Okay, just I will remove this one. This my functional component. But what is my component? This is a my class component is there. So just I need to import that one. So how to import? Import my class component. From where? From dot one folder black and a forward slash do control space bar. So component. Okay, so if it is not coming properly, so just check one more time. Dot forward slash, still it is not coming. Dot forward slash components, components forward slash where I have defined a function component. My, yeah, I had an where I have defined this function. So this function I defined inside the source a component, components, my components is there. So just what I will do, I will just see here I had done a little mistake here, that's why it is not showing. So class, okay, so then I need to export, that's why it is not a export showing the output. So where is the export? So here it is a export default from my class component. So here after this one, export default my class component. So then if you go here and the components, okay, so we'll go here. So everything we have added here in the React component. So my component we have added here. Then export default my class component. So here exporting, while exporting you have to be very careful. Okay, so if you do smell a mistake, I have done a little mistakes here. I'm using a class and all everything. So that's why I will rewrite one more time. So properly my class component. So everything I have written properly. Copy and here. Then I want to paste here. Then I want to paste here. Save it. We'll go here. My sorry class component. Okay. Okay. So here what happens? So I need to comment it this one because I'm not calling this one, right? So What is the error? The passing argument, my functional component is already is defined. So that's why I want to comment here, and I need to change this one. My class comp. Okay, so here what is happening here? We have created a class component and it is showing an error. So where is the error? 1620. Your render method have a return statement. So yes, we have created a render method and a return statement. Okay, so same thing we have created a my function. Okay, so return. Sorry, this one my function component. Okay, so this is a state, and this is a here it is a render a return. So just have a look on this one. A render div is there, and this is the closing bracket is there, and this is a. So I think everything is correct only. So what is the mistake? We will get my class component, extender component, and a constructor open close brace. The initial state is a 0. A render inside a render we have written a written component. So this is the thing we are going to be called here. So everything looks correct only. So 16, your render method should have the return statement. Yes, its return is there, and the return is not defined. So everything is defined. Okay, let copy paste. See why we are doing the mistakes. Even we are not using the class component. Just for practice purpose, yesterday we have written and we are using now. So that's why we do a small mistakes here. Okay, so here what happens? My class component extend constructor props super props this dot this is we have written. So this is a what we have done. So this is the increment. Let remove this one. So this is a my class comp is there. Okay. Okay. So now we'll see the output here. Okay, still it is not there. So just if you go here, import remove. Okay, line number 2 comma 8 my cop is not defined. So just I want to go here, copy, and we'll add here the component. Okay, we'll go here, rerun it. Okay, so here it is showing the increment. Okay, so here what is happening here? So we have defined our class constructor, class, and we have defined a constructor, and we have initialized the initial variable this dot state dot count. So this dot state dot count. So initial value is 0. So then button on click is what? An event. This dot increment. Okay. So this dot increment. What we are doing here? So we are going to constant. So we need to call the what we can say this is the function. So what is the function here? The increment function is there. So increment count. So how to call this one? So that is the increment count. We are going to be called the we are going to be called the set count method. The state is there. The set state is the method is there. So we are calling the arrow function. So we'll So how to call the arrow function equals to open close brace, and set state, open close brace, bracket, and the count equals to this dot state dot count plus 1. Okay, so here what happened here? So once I call on click method, it is going to be called the increment method. From the here, this is the state is there, set state and get state. In the set we have seen the get and state, get set is there in the objects, get set is there, same thing. So for the state, set state is there, get state is there. So but we are using this keyword here. Okay, so this dot set state count. What is the count? Count is the initial 0. So this dot state dot count. So what is the initial value? 0. And plus 1 means what? 0 plus 1, 1 is there. So same thing, if you go here, if I run a program, it is incremented by 1. It is incremented by 1. Okay, so how it is happening here? So first we are calling this header, and the count is a normal text. So if I this dot state dot count, if I remove this expression, then it will not show the output. Sorry, Control S, save it. We'll go here. See here, this dot state dot count. So it is acted as a string only when if you enclosed with the floor bracket, it is acted as an expression. Okay, sorry. Control Z, Shift. Okay, save it, run it. So what is the difference between the class component and functional component? So majorly, the basic thing we are using the here it is using the class name, and in the functional component we are using the constant function name. And if you see the class component, so we are writing the n number of lines here. But in the functional component, we are writing the only few lines. Okay, so now, so this is called a what you can say class component. So what is this one? The class component. It is going to be created with the class name with extended component, and we are calling the constructor props, and we are going to be an initializer this dot state dot count. Okay, so why we need a constructor in the sense? So whenever you need to, when you define a class, no, so by default, or you have to create a constructor. So in the JavaScript also we have seen this one. So this dot state. So we need to initialize the variable to something. You know? If you want to make it as a 0 or you make it as a 10, so then initial count will be, it is going to be start with a 10, 11 like that it is going to be. So if you want to increment by 5, just change a 5, save it, run it. So 10 is there, 15, 20, 25, 20, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So like that it is going to be increment. Got it? So this dot set state count, this dot state dot count. So this is how it will look. So normal to display this the count value. So this dot state dot count. If you want to call the button, so in the button we are calling the, or we are defining the on click event. When is on click event? So clicking is an on click is an event. So once you click an event, what has to be happened? So this dot increment count method. So this increment count method we are going to be call here this dot set state. So this dot set state is the method where to set or what to set for the count variable. So here I define a count variable. So this dot state dot count, this dot state dot count is what? 10. So now in the place of this state dot count, 10 is there. So once I click here, so incremental 10 plus 5, 20. So now this dot state dot count will be 15. So here count will be assigned. See, this dot state dot count is 10. So then 5. 10 plus 5, 15. The 15 is added to here. Now the 15 is showing here. Okay. So if you want to set initial 0, and if you want to set the increment by 1, so it is going to be save like this. So initial this dot state dot count. So here this dot state dot count. The initial count is 0. So 0 is there. So once I click here on the increment, it is calling the increment count set count method. Count equals to this dot state dot count 0 plus 1 1. So now this dot state dot count is 1. So 1 plus 1 2, 2 plus 1 3, 3 plus 1 4, 4 plus 1 5, 5 plus 1 6, 7 8 9 10 like that it is going to be incremented. So we got to know what is the functional component and the class component. Okay, the next example we are going with the, what is this one? The state. Okay, the first what we are going to do with the a counter function. Okay, so just we have called a counter functions. So here it is a same thing, increment and decrement we need to do here. Okay, so for this I want to create a one class here. I want to, what I will do, I will make a one folder. The folder name is the counter. Inside a counter, counter functional dot jsx react function. So how to do, import a react from react constant counter functional open close brace. Okay, so before what I will do, I will create a class component. Okay, so let it be. So and return open close brace. Okay, and we call a div here. Okay, so I will just functional. Yeah, we done a mistake. Okay, so this is the counter functional component. Same thing, I will close here. First, I will work on class component. So class counter dot jsx or js. Okay, so now the import React from React, and we need to add a one more component. So that is the component. So I have created a component, then a class counter extends. Either you can call the directly React component if you not imported. If you already imported the component, so just call a component. So then open close brace. So then R constant. Okay. So now what they are doing, the initial state count. So this is the count colon 0. So initially I want to do increment and decrement. Okay. The constructor props use super this dot count is there. Okay. The next render open close brace return open close brace. So then div is there, and I want to this dot state dot count. Okay, the first I want to close. So what is this one? This is called a comment. Okay, so just I want to comment this one also. Just control backslash, and this is the control forward slash. So I can first import and add it, or else directly I can add here. So how to add? Class counter forward slash. So this is I have added here, but I need to import first, right? So here is a class counter. Before that, I need to export this one. So export default class counter. Then I want to import. See, automatically it will come here. So just I am typing a class counter. Is issued is sent the component inside components counter folder. It is like this. Okay, just I want to go here. See, initial count is 0 is there. So what I will do, I want to add some, the count is colon, save it. The count is this one. Okay. So if you want to add a style means how you are going to be add in the inline style, the style, open close brace, margin top, colon 20 pixel, save it, run it. So if you want to add a margin left, comma, margin left, colon 40 pixel, save it, run it. Okay, so the count is initial 0. So what I want to do, I want to call a one method. So that is a, so what I will do, I will add a control X. I will add a H2 tag. So display. So this is the initial count is 0. So I need to call a two functions, that is the increment and decrement. So how to call? So that is the, I will need to call the button and close it, increment, and we are calling a one more button, decrement. Sorry if it is spelling mistake. So here on click. So this dot increment, and on click one more event, this dot decrement. Okay, so there are the two functions we have created. So this is the increment is there, decrement is there. So same thing. So this is the increment and decrement is there. This is the initial component. Okay, so now once we click here, so we need to increment and decrement a count, right? So how to do this one? So this is the inside a class components. Okay, so here, so increment, uh, increment. So here what happens? Uh, Earlier we are using the something called a constant. Sorry, const and all everything. So why? Because so that is a what you can say, that is a function component. In the class component we are not doing the like that. Okay, so increment. So arrow functions we need to call. Okay, so then so here what we are going to do, we, as I told her, each state is having a set state and get state. Same thing we are going to be called with a set state with a this. Okay, so now this dot set state, open close brace, log bracket. So what is initial count value? So that is the count colon. So this dot state dot count plus one. So this is the increment is happening. So same thing I want to call for the decrement. So open close brace. So this dot set state, open close brace, and count colon. So this dot state dot count minus one. Okay, save it, run it. We'll go here. So if I do increment, it is going to be incremented. It is going to be decrement. It is going to be. So this is called a class component. So what it is? So this is the this dot state dot count is going to be print the initial value of a count. Okay. So when I click on increment, it is going to be called the increment method. So that's clear. So here it is this dot set state. Set state means it is going to be set the state of the count variable from increment by 1. What is the initial value of this first state dot count? 0. 0 plus 1, 1. 1 is added to the count. So again if you click the counter, again count value is what now? It is a 1. So this dot state dot count 1 plus 1, 2. So like that it is going to be increment like that. Same thing decrement means, so what is this dot increment? Once you click this event, it is calling here this dot set state count, this dot state dot count minus one. Okay, so here the state we are going to be decreased by one. So initial value is zero. If you minus Decrement means minus 1 will happen. If you incremented 1 or 2, so it is going to be a decrement 1 or 2. So how many times you are going to be click the increment and decrement. So this is we have done with the what we can say this is the class component. See, one thing I am telling that the class component is I am explaining you because of understanding purpose. But at least you should know. Even we are not using them to write the this class component. Okay, so next what we are going with the we are going with the functional component. Okay, so the counter. Okay, this is the class over, right? And this is the functional component. Okay, so here is some little bit slight changes is there. Okay, why the I don't write what is the functional component, what is the class component. So they have introduced this use state thing. Okay, the use state. So then only they are using the started a functional component. So why and all, how we are going to be discussed. So don't worry about what is the count, set count and everything on deeply. So just have a look how the code is flow and all. Okay, the first what I will do, I want to go with the my one more function. It is that is the class counter, class function counter. Okay, so here what happens? So we have created this constructor. So first what we are using one more thing, the import use state. Okay, so use state is a hook is introduced in the React 16.7. So I'm not sure 16.7 or 17.8 or something. So if you just Google it, you will get it. So when they are using a use state, no, then they are not using this class component. So then you have a question like then if we are not using means why we are using why we are explaining. Yes, it might be your project is from the 3 years back, 4 years back. Your project they already written a code in the class component means so then it is useful. But programmatically you are not writing. So that's why I done a mistake in the first writing a program. For explanation purpose, I am going to be telling you guys for understanding purpose. So now the initially the use state is there. Okay. So now what we are going to do? We are going to be initialize the initial state variable. So that is the count and set count. Okay. So here what I am going to do, the constant open close space count set count equals to use state initial value is 0. So there we are using the this. Okay. So here to initialize a variable this dot state dot count is there, but here the count value is 0. Set count method it is going to be set the value. So if you want to display this value, how to display? So h2 the count value is colon open close brace the count. Save it. So just I want to comment this one. How to comment? Select a control forward slash and here also control forward slash. So what is a comment means? It is something like a dead. It is not useful. So just I want to import what is this one? Counter function, right? CONT counter functional from where dot forward slash component counter counter functional. So this one I will use a component name. I will add here less than control B forward slash. So this is the counter functional. So what is this? So I need to export this one. So I didn't export it. So how to do? Export default counter functional. Okay. Save it. Run it. We'll go here. See the count value is 0. what is happening here? So I am setting a count value is 0. So if I make a something 10, save it, save it, the 10 will change. So this is how we are going to be set the value. The class component, how we are doing this dot state count equals to 0. But here we are passing the use state value 10 here, that is the count. So this is the set count method is there. Okay, so now, so the count is 0. So I want to follow two more methods. So that is the button increment and button decrement. Okay, so on click set count. Okay. So, so we can call a set count method, or else we can call a what we can say on click. Okay, let it be. So there are two methods we can do. One is calling the methods, or else we can pass the set count plus one or set count. So first, what I will do, on click equals to open close brace and increment and click decrement. Okay, so I need to call the two functions. So how to call the constant? So earlier how we are calling directly we are calling the method, but here the we are calling the increment open close brace. Okay, okay, set count open close brace count colon count plus one. Okay, so this is the for the increment. So for decrement constant decrement, sorry mistake, const constant decrement and set count open close brace flow bucket. So that is the count colon count minus one. Save it. For a minute. We'll go here. Yeah. What is the mistake we have done? So initial count is zero, count is zero. So we'll have a close. Yeah, sorry, there is this confusion is happened. So just we need to call the only these two methods, okay? Set count. Why just this confusion will happen? When you write a class component and when you calling a functional component, this is the mistake which will happen. Okay, set count count plus one. So increment and decrement. So this is the decrement. So that's why we are also not using the function class component. We are never using class component. So this is the method. So when you are using the two things at a class of function, so there is a little bit misconception will happen. Okay, so this is the on click the increment. Okay, so so this is how we can say the increment and decrement. So this is the class component and sorry functional component and class component. So in the class component we need to write a lengthy code, and in the functional component you are going to write only as much sorry only less code. Okay. So what is this use state and all? You don't need to worry. Just have a look on this one. How the state. So this is the state object. It contains the value of a 10. and set count is a method. So we are going to be discuss more on use state, why use state came. Once a use state came means we are starting using a functional component and we have left a class component. Okay, fine. So I think so you might feel a difficulty for what they are